Your next paper is a bibliography. The bibliography is the third assignment in the research assignment series. Part of why I have you go through this very specific set of assignments is to provide a model of what to do when you have to go about writing a research paper on your own. Once you have your topic and have written a little bit in your own words, it's time to start researching. Writing a bibliography as you work on your research will save you time later and will help keep you organized. So what is a bibliography? A bibliography is a list of citations. Bibliographies are similar to what the more familiar Works Cited page looks like, except that a bibliography includes all the sources someone has consulted during their research. So what you're doing for this paper is writing a brief reminder about your topic, followed by 6 correct citation in alphabetical order. You can choose the citation format you like, but I'll be teaching MLA. Here's an example of what the bibliography will look like. Notice how short it is. I already have my working title, I have my topic reminder at the top of the page, and then I have 6 citations. Pretty simple. So only 1 page and a bit at the end. Your nuts and bolts should be no surprise, although notice that I'm assuming that the length is going to be shorter, so around 1 page, but you still get 6 points. And your grading guide is available on Moodle. Since the main point of this paper is to create citations, you may want a refresher about what citations are. Citations are a standardized format for referring to books, articles, websites, and other sources of information. The basic information you need for citations is the author, the article title, the title of the big thing like a book, journal, website, volume number, if the source has one, the date, and the location, which could be page numbers or the URL. We will cover this in more detail later. Something you'll notice is that a bibliography looks exactly like a works cited in terms of the formatting. But a bibliography is different from a works cited because it includes all the works consulted during the research process. Works cited only include sources directly mentioned in the paper. This means that the bibliographies tend to be longer than works cited. You also tend to find bibliographies at the end of longer academic works, like books, while works cited pages occur in shorter articles. Finally, bibliographies can stand alone as a document in their own right, while works cited are always associated with a paper of some sort. I don't expect your citations to be perfect, but I do expect you to show that you have tried and are making an effort to be fair to your external sources. Please use a citation generator if you would like, with the knowledge that those things often make stupid mistakes. If you are learning APA or Chicago style for your major, please go ahead and use that approach. It is a good idea to start practicing those styles now. Some students think an assignment like this is busy work, but I would argue that the bibliography serves a number of important purposes. There are 2 really practical purposes. One reason I make you do this is to keep you from procrastinating. Most students will absolutely wait till the very last minute to do any work on their research papers, and that is not only stressful for the student, but it also means they are less likely to do as well on the project as they'd like. Another reason I do this is so you have your citations written and ready to go when you start working on your papers. Then all you have to do is copy and paste the citations straight into the final draft. It really will save you time later. Another reason I have you do this is because of a pet theory of mine. First, your brain is always working, even when you're not aware of it and when you're not actively using it. When you introduce new information to the brain, you have to give it time to make sense of that information and incorporate it into your long-term memory. When it comes to research, if you do some research up front, it gives your brain some time to do its magic, and you'll find it easier to use and incorporate your sources later. So be a precrastinator, not a procrastinator. Some students may say, well, why use sources to begin with? Well, the first reason is because you have to write with sources as part of the objectives for this class created by the university and the state of Idaho. But sources serve a lot of purposes. I actually think it's easier to fill up pages when you've incorporated sources because you simply have more content available to use. Along those same lines, with sources, you don't have to do all the thinking on your own. There are other people who have done some of that work for you, so just cite them instead of reinventing the wheel all on your own. Finally, including sources is a fundamental part of what it means to be an academic in higher education. It places you in a conversation with other people. So just go ahead and use your sources, okay, folks? Not using sources makes you look like you live in an echo chamber and like you refuse to accept input from anyone else. Besides, research rocks. As you work on this project, you can think creatively about sources. There are so many potential sources of information for you to use, such as interviews, ISU websites, the website for the city of Pocatello in the state of Idaho. Look for local sources, too. You should also look for sources that provide evidence proving there is a problem, evidence proving the problem should be solved, information about who can solve the problem, so who is their audience and what is their values, what solution has ISU already tried, have they worked, what solutions have other universities tried. You can find evidence regarding the details of your solution, like maps, existing infrastructure at ISU, what's actually going to happen and change. And finally, evidence showing why your solution is the best, cheapest, easiest, most effective, etc. You should also look for sources that will help you fill out each section of the proposal form. Evidence that the problem is real and worth solving, other solutions and why they won't work, specific details relating to your solution, evidence about why your solution is the best, etc. If you can't find sources, ask for help from either me or a librarian. We might be able to help you find synonyms and search terms that will lead you to good information. Okay, all you excellent scholars, time to get to work. Happy researching!